introduce yourself. One about thank you.
My name is Wang Xiangshi or Jessica.
Wang Xiangshi, okay, welcome.
My name is Lin Guo.
Lin Guo, welcome.
My name is Chen Li.
Chen Li, welcome. Okay.
Have a constitution. So the first one, formal document versus substantive order. What it means is a constitutional code is only part of the study. A true constitution requires actual operation, interpretation, and impact on society. The next one is the UK example. Britain is known as the mother of constitutions, despite having no interpretation and impact on society. The next one is the UK example. Britain is known as the mother of constitutions, despite having no single written document. It operates on a constitutional order built through historical acts. And the last one is the counter example. So some nations possesses a written constitution but use it as a tool for authorization if a document only serves to protect the ruler's power and lacks democratic legitimacy. It is a constitution in name only. So the key takeaway is a state without sovereignty or one that lacks a functional constitutional order cannot be said to truly possess a constitution. The next one is the must-haves of constitutionalism. The first one is popular sovereignty. Power belongs to the people, and then separation of powers, checks and balances to prevent any tyranny, and then human rights. The ultimate goal is protecting individual liberty. Next one is definitions and classification. There is traditional versus the modern. So the traditional is any basic state structures. The modern is system that limits power and protect the rights. And the next one is the formal and versus material. So the formal, there's a book named the Constitution. And the material one, they use the actual law that runs the state. And the core logic is a state is defined by its action and not by its label. What is a constitution? So the first one, there's the highest law of the state. And then there is also needs or requires interpretation and real operation. And we also need a gains value through practical effects and not only a written document. Also, a constitution without practice is meaningless. And the next one, why constitution is not enough. Reason number one, constitution does not mean constitutionalism. And reason number two, some constitutions serve as tools for control. And reason number three, power may remain unlimited. And reason number four, rights may not be protected. So the key issue is there's a limitation of power. Now, what really matters? So constitutionalism means a real limitation of power, and it also focuses on the practice instead of the form. And the example is, again, the UK. There's no written constitution, but the country works. And the implementation also determines the legitimacy.
Okay, so we will be discussing about the Carl Schmitt's key idea. So Carl Schmitt is a German political theorist who argued that constituent power, the power to create a constitution, is fundamentally a pre-legal or political will. It cannot be contained or defined by existing laws because it's the very source from which all law flows. According to Schmitt, whenever a people or nation decides to give themselves a new political order, that decision itself is the highest form of political authority, regardless of whether if it follows existing legal procedures. So, this leads to one of the most important distinctions in this chapter, which is legality versus legitimacy. Something is legal if it follows the established rules and procedures. Something is legitimate if the people generally accept and recognize it is as rightful authority. These two things do not always go together. Government can follow all the correct procedures and still lose legitimacy if the people no longer believe in it. On the other hand, a revolution which by definition breaks the old legal order can eventually gain legitimacy if the people accept the new order it creates. And now we have the problem of government continuity. When a new government claims to be a legal continuation of a previous one, is that claim automatically valid? The text argues no. The mere declaration of continuity is not enough. What matters is whether the people, as the holders of constituent power, actually recognize that continuity. And without that recognition, the claim is hollow. Okay, we're looking at some examples are the US example. So, in 1787, the framers of the US Constitution technically violated the rules of the Articles of the Confederation, which required anonymous consent from all states to be amended. The new Constitution replaced it entirely, following a different ratification process. By strict legal standards, this was irregular, even a revolutionary act. Yet today, we consider the US Constitution fully legitimate because it was ratified by people through their representatives. The people's acceptance transformed what began as legal irregularity into the foundation of a new legal order. Finally, we have proper steps for legal constitution making. It involves 5 steps. We got first, the people express their collective will to establish a new constitution. Second, a preparatory body drafts a proposal. Third, elections are held specifically for constitutional representative whose sole task is drafting and confirming the constitution. Fourth, the draft is to put forth and passed by the people as the ultimate holders of the constituent power. And the final one is a new government is formed and operates under the new constitutional framework. That's all from us. Thank you.
That's all? No question? No question?
Wait.
Okay, good.
I think we have to answer one of the questions that was prepared. So the question is how to distinguish the legal or revolution from the establishment of the government. And the answer to that is basically the differences about how the government is created. So a legal establishment means the government is formed by following the law. And like through elections or rules in the Constitution, everything stays within the system. But a revolutionary establishment is when people don't follow the existing laws anymore and they overthrow the old government and create a new one, so it's outside the system.
Okay, good. It's great explanation. Okay. Do you want to invite the president students to ask you a question, or you want to ask them question? Which one you can choose?
I think they can ask.
Okay, then you invite. Okay, you can invite. You how to invite a class, or you were?
Does anyone have like a question?
Yes. I will give you extra, additional 1 point. You what? According their presentation, you can ask any question. Okay? You what? No, you can choose. You can use iClass. You can choose one student. Okay, you can identify.
The guy with the plaid, like, sorry? Yeah.
Oh, you. one? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, you be okay. Hanson. Good. Good.
Can you say the question one more time?
Michael, you okay? You can use it. Oh, no. You can determine which page you want to review.
Okay, so you just talked about a country that has no constitution, right? Like for example, the UK. Is there any other country like that besides the United Kingdom?
United Kingdom.
Yeah. I think it was slide 2.
Slide two. Number 2. Okay, this one.
You're talking about United Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Is there any other country like them that have no constitution?
Yes.
The New Zealand doesn't have a constitution, and Israel also doesn't have a constitution.
Good, you got it. 1 point. Okay, good. Okay, keep it, okay, record it, okay? Refine it, okay? Okay, now you can refine the second one.
The guy with the blue stripe.
Blue, oh, you are chosen. Wonderful. Handsome smart. Okay, good. You can choose which page. Number 1 to 11. Maybe.
How does a country runs without constitution? Is that because I think constitution is the basic law, the fundamental of a country. So how does one run without a constitution at all?
So there are still laws, so the government follows normal laws passed over time. And then there's also a tradition. There's a long-standing practice guide decisions. And then there's a court decision, which the judges help defines whether it is allowed or not allowed. And then there's basic rules. And some countries have important laws that act like a constitution. So that's how they run.
It's okay?
Okay.
Oh, you are very good. You are good answering. Okay, thank you. The third one, you can invite. We still have not only the 70 students, still a lot of time. You can invite. Invite. Okay.
So the slide actually says the step, but I'm gonna re-explain it. So the first one, we need ideas or demand. And then the second one, we need the drafting. And then the third one, there's a discussion. The fourth one, we need an approval. And then the fifth one is adoption.
It's okay? Okay, good. Okay, then maybe we have a little discussion about this very important page. Okay, why a country want to build a new constitution? What kind of situation or what kind of condition they will do so?
So usually, if the country is like in a war, or like in a crisis, after the war and the crisis, they will need a new constitution. And then if there is also an independence, after an independence, when a country becomes free and needs its own rules, they will need to make a new constitution. And then if there is also a major political change, then the whole constitution also needs to be changed.
Wonderful.